Meghan repays the royals with painful shots. Who needs forgiveness? Hello friends, welcome to the breaking news of notorious royal traitor Meghan Markle on our Kate Middleton and the Queen News version 2 channel. Recently, Meghan delivered a pretty powerful shot against the royal family using a despicable interview with the popular magazine titled The Cut. Infamous liar Meghan put on a pretty good performance pretending to be the victim. According to experts, Meghan applied just the right script of her interview that she did with Oprah in her attempt to deliver a sinister shot against Harry's family. She just continued to cry and whine about all the suffering that she had to experience in the past. Once again, though, the British public have more than enough reasons to hate this evil, cunning woman. In fact, people are even starting to protest in an attempt to stop Meghan's nasty behavior. They have declared that it is time to end it all. In the eyes of most people, it looks like psychopathic Meghan is finally losing control. So she says, "I have made an active effort to forgive the Queen and the royal family." And then she adds in a pretty menacing tone, "I am now free to say anything." Meghan is a sick, bitter, twisted woman, and she is so full of revenge, all because the Queen told her that she needed to leave the UK. Even Meghan's minion, Omid Scooby-Doo, confirmed it recently. So in his Yahoo column, he wrote, "The Sussexes were shown the door by Her Majesty." And Meghan is still trying to accuse the royals of being racist. So she said, "Nobody treated me as black until I dated Harry." But the saddest part of all of this is that this evil woman has convinced Harry that his family is just filled with these horrible racist people. Harry was at one time the most popular person in the royal family. He really was the darling of the British public. But now look at him. He's just so bitter, he's angry, and he's got that giant chip on his shoulder. Now the Queen is 96 years old, and her health is beginning to fail, but she is still the head of one of the most influential, wealthiest, and most powerful families in this whole world. And as difficult as it may be for her, she needs to do the right thing. Now the time has come for her to finally put her foot down and put a stop to all of this nonsense for her own sanity as well as the sanity of everybody else. If the Queen chooses not to act decisively, then I'm afraid this out-of-control, vengeful, manipulative runaway train is gonna bring Her Majesty's life to an early conclusion, and it might damage the royal family beyond repair. And while Meghan tries to destroy the royal family, she's gonna be gloating on that stupid podcast. The royal family welcomed Meghan with open arms, and just look at how she's repaying them. She's repaying them by trying to feed them poison. See, I'm not sure that Meghan understands that by attacking the royal family like she's been doing, she's not only threatening to harm them, but also the fans of the British monarchy as well. It's pretty obvious that the royal family did a lot to help Meghan, but she will not admit that fact. And this has caused the royal family to feel regret because they gave her so many valuable gifts. Any fans of the monarchy out there can give you so many examples proving how kind the British royal family was towards Meghan. Though it may not have been in direct aid, the royal family did a lot to help Harry and Meghan get that home in the US. And maybe it wasn't directly, but royal fans understand that incompetent, useless people such as Harry and Meghan could never afford this 16-bathroom McMansion that they have now. One insider said she couldn't afford the $14.5 million house that she had to have, according to her podcast. She earned $4 or $5 million as an actress, so who paid for it? Well, we know who paid for it. It was Prince Charles, Prince Harry, and the royal family. And the way that Meghan treats them makes it seem like she paid for it with her own money. And why did they even need a $14.5 million home in California? Well, again, that's really just on Meghan because she had to keep up the facade. Now she can just keep on talking all she wants because the only person who she's really hurting is herself. She's just revealing her criminality and her abuse of the poor Queen. At this rate, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Meghan ended up in prison or maybe in a psych ward somewhere. Just last year, Meghan had to admit that she misled the courts in her action that she took against the paper. Now to you and me, it seems like it's perjury, and Harry just stood there and he supported her. He even sent a supporting email to the courts. Now that is a criminal offense because that is perjury. But once again, they never had to face the consequences for their behavior because the powers that be stepped in and they covered up for them. So now it's time for the Queen and the royal family to step in and finally take action against this gruesome twosome. And if they don't do it, I'm afraid they're going to lose even more of the public support. In fact, support for the royal family has gone down by about 14% recently. And unless they do something now, I'm afraid there might not be any future for the monarchy. See, the monarchy requires the public vote just to survive. I think the Queen is just ignoring everything. She's hoping it's all going to go away. But she is still trying to have Andrew get a public position once again, and I'm afraid that's going to hurt the monarchy even more. There are lots of people out there who think that the Queen is trying her best to protect Harry from the attacks of public opinion. I guess she don't want to see Harry turn into some kind of beggar. So, removing their titles seems to be delayed right now. One insider said the Queen's advisors are failing her. They are looking after their own jobs. They will never offer Her Majesty advice of which she won't approve. In all honesty, if I was in their position, I'd do exactly the same. I wouldn't put my job in jeopardy and also ruin my chance of receiving a gong. But a lot of the Queen's supporters do believe that those titles need to be removed, and that is what we need Parliament for. So other than these little problems of dealing with the Montecito malcontents, it looks like the Queen and the rest of the royal family are mostly doing the right thing. And it's common sense that the best way to deal with a narcissist like Meghan is to completely ignore them. There's really no other way to deal with them. And also, it has the added benefit of driving the narcissist absolutely insane. See, because the royals are not reacting to Meghan's lies, she is just continuing to spiral out of control. And they're not taking her bait. Good on them. The world is now seeing Meghan for exactly what she is, and the royals have not really needed to do anything at all. See, it looks like the Queen actually knew what she was doing the whole time by not engaging the two of them in the media. It is so frustrating to Meghan that they maintain this mantra of never complain, never explain. The Queen understands that her people do adore her and they support her no matter what. So regarding Meghan's accusations that the royals referred to her as black soon after she got close with Harry, one insider said, "We know that she was the one who started to call herself biracial black whenever it suited her, so I don't believe the royals were the first to bring it up. And as ever, it's an area that can't be confirmed or denied by the royals as fact. The Queen and her lawyers looked into the legality side of removing titles, and as yet at that time, they hadn't broken any treachery laws to warrant any legal action." There seemed to be some confusion around the whole issue too, because the palace said that it was the Home Office and the Prime Minister who had the responsibility of taking away those titles. And then the politicians said that it was the monarch's responsibility. So it turns out that actually no one had the authority. And apparently now the government has actually drafted a bill called the Removal of Titles Bill. And it's going through the process now of being passed through all the levels of Parliament, and then it'll be passed on to the Court of Justice to be passed into law. So I do hope that nothing blocks that bill from going through, and I hope that by this time next year, the Sussexes are finally going to lose those titles. Now, I'm not 100% sure about Andrew. I don't think it should affect the status of his daughters because they're married already, and so they could easily just use their married surnames. They did have some warnings, though, and they chose to ignore them. But Harry and his titles do not have the pull that Meghan was hoping for. So I don't think she's actually concerned about losing the titles anymore. It would just affect Harry a lot more. And I think the Queen might be worried that she's going to lose her grandson completely if she closes all doors by taking away the titles, but especially those of Counselor of State, as well as removing Harry from the line of succession. But what needs to be understood is that Harry is the one who has been doing every single thing he can to take himself away from his family. Now, Meghan is the major catalyst. But as long as she's in control, Harry's going to do whatever she tells him to. She's not going to want to give up any connection to the family because it's the only way that she can get the success that she's so desperate for. And another really bizarre thing that's happening right now is Meghan on her podcast tried to say that now she knows what it's like to be black thanks to the racist royal family. So apparently, she spent all of her early years being treated and labeled as white by documents that she produced. So where are these mysterious black friends or members of her family that she chooses to acknowledge? She simply cannot deny that she spent most of her prior life as a white woman, and she even had plastic surgery and did skin whitening to make sure that she was viewed as Caucasian. Over the years, the royal family has shown by their behavior that they are definitely not racist. So when Harry brought his prospective wife home to the family, they gave her every courtesy and they gave her every chance to be accepted into the family as one of them. But she didn't want to live by the rules. She didn't want to follow protocol. So she decided she needed to do her own thing. And see, the thing that Meghan cares most about in this world is money. That woman is unbelievably greedy. Meghan was never going to be accepted into the royal family just because she never wanted to be. She was only concerned about how much money she could make off of them. And what do you think about Meghan's accusations that she's made against the royal family? Do you think this is finally going to get the royals to do something against them? Please let us know your thoughts below in the comments section. We hope you have found this video helpful. And don't forget to leave us a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching our news, and we will be back to see you in the next videos. Bye-bye now.